Thank you so much, Imam. Thank you, Dr. Carr. Thank you, Ms. Lailah Dunbar, who will serve as our Mistress of Ceremonies and serves as the director of our Office of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging. And thank you for the entire team of the Office of DEI and Belonging. Cabrini University, as Helen Dryden just shared, is a premier institution in the Philadelphia metropolitan region. We are dedicated to this education of the heart. It is a holistic education of mind, body, and spirit. It's an education that calls us to know who we are and whose we are and who we ought to be toward each other. When I think about Mother Cabrini, I think about the spirit of Queen Mother Harriet Tubman, who went to save her people, as Mother Cabrini came here to save her people. But what was she coming here to do and to save? Mother Cabrini, like Harriet Tubman, went to her people to raise their consciousness of who they are, their dignity in Little Italy in New York, to raise their consciousness of their commitment and their calling. Harriet Tubman, for many of us, raises our consciousness of our calling and our commitment to freedom. This is a day, Juneteenth, that we are celebrating for the first time here at Cabrini University, is to recognize the theme of Sankofa. The Sankofa bird has a neck that looks backward as it flies forward with clear intention. We are here in that spirit of Sankofa to do the same, to look back, to feel our way backwards as we fly forward, being told from our ancestral realm where to go in the current realm and beyond. We, the descendants of those who were forgotten, disregarded, and dehumanized, have come back. Those who have been last are now called to lead first. And to lead for what purpose? To restore human dignity on this planet. We are here, out of the ashes, restored, celebrating on Juneteenth, this wonderful jubilee. What Dr. Cornel West said, justice is what love looks like in public. And I'm saying on this Juneteenth, love is what justice looks like. In public, in private, in the classroom, in the boardroom, outside, when no one's looking, in the dark and in the light. Love is justice that builds our capacity to be the Sankofa bird. Love is the justice in the home, embracing fatherhood in the spirit of a divinely balanced masculinity that honors and respects femininity that's within every human being and every consciousness. We're the fertile ground, concretizing our consciousness as people who are here to remind all of us that we are just different leaves on the same tree, different sizes, different colors, different shapes, different origin stories, different times that you come to being and to fruition on the tree with the same root that goes into the ground. I'm looking at my precious mother, Sadie Campbell, who gives me life and joy. The roots of the tree that go down keep us alive. We need each other to survive. We need each other to thrive. All of us are part of the same oneness. Digits on the hand. We have forgotten through all of the history. The pinky is messing with the middle finger, and the middle finger is messing with the thumb. And the digits don't realize that they're one and they function better together than trying to cut each other off. This Juneteenth at Cabrini University is starting a new tradition of raising our sights and our vision of what is possible. What can't we do together? I challenge all of us to say, we make Cabrini whatever we will. And whatever institutions you want to build, you build them, but you got to do it together. And we're doing that here. So Juneteenth, the theme of Sankofa, celebrating all the fathers and all of the father figures and all of the people who have restored life to the family. Freedom is what love looks like. It's what justice looks like. I just want to leave with you, as we celebrate Juneteenth, a remembrance of all of our African ancestors and all of our personal ancestors. They are the reasons we are here. And all of those ancestors go back to the same mother and father. We are to look at each other as brothers and sisters, cousins and friends. This is what Juneteenth is about. It's a celebration for all of us. We're celebrating family, fatherhood, and freedom in the spirit of Sankofa. We look back to remember who we are, whose we are, and our why for being here. This is our calling, and this is our moment to lead, to love, and to learn how to be better human beings on this planet. I leave you as I came, Ashe. Now our mistress of ceremonies, Lailah Dunbar. Let's give her a round of applause. Lailah Dunbar, Director of the Office of DEI and Belonging.
Freedom, freedom, freedom. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Thank you, everyone, for coming to join us today at Cabrini University on our lovely campus. The Spirit has blessed us with the most beautiful day possible. Let's give God a hand. Several people evoked the spirit of Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman, in all of the trips from the South to freedom, she said, and many of you know this, she said, I would have freed 1,000 more if only, what? They knew they were slaves. And so we have to remember today that although Juneteenth is a jubilee, it's a celebration, it is also a bittersweet moment because our ancestors who had been freed with the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 had to wait almost 3 more years before they actually knew they were free. And so this raises several questions, several existential questions. Who frees whom? Can any man really, truly enslave another man? I think about Nat Turner and Denmark Vesey. Were their minds enslaved or were their bodies only captive? So these people were freed and they were waiting for the message to say that they were free. This is a bittersweet moment. And so we are here today, 159 years later, still speaking on the relevance of freedom. And some people might say, what are we freeing ourselves from? Here we are, able to obtain the accoutrements of capitalism, obtain the accoutrements of civilization. What are we freeing ourselves from? Why are we still talking about freedom? Because freedom is not just in the body. Freedom is in the mind and the soul. So as we talk about Mother Cabrini, who challenged her educators to not only educate the minds of their students, but to also educate the hearts of the students, we know that as the mind and the heart are aligned, that alignment, the spirit of that alignment comes through the hands as we do our work in the world. Because without that alignment of the mind and the heart, the work that we do it falls on deaf ears. The work that we do, if it is just of the mind, it has no compassion. If it's just of the heart, it has no substance. So we are here to talk about freedom because we know that freedom is not just freedom in the body. Freedom is freedom of the soul. And so we hope that here, we trust that here at Cabrini University, where we are charged to do that we as educators show up with that understanding that the work that I do, the work that we collectively do to create an environment where students feel as if they belong comes from first doing that transformation from within, from the inside out. As we transform ourselves, we give other people permission to transform themselves as well. So I am grateful. I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful for this moment. You know, Dr. Carr and I are very good friends, and I'm blessed to have him as a friend. But there is nothing like a Greg Carr libation. So let's give Dr. Carr a hand. Dr. Carr, if those of you are not familiar with him, Dr. Carr is a professor of Howard University. He's a professor of African American Studies, former chair of African American Studies at Howard University. He is also a professor of law at the Howard University Law School, but he is so much more than that. He really truly is a public intellectual. He is one of the foremost historians in our, he's going to be embarrassed by this, but he is one of the foremost historians alive today. So if you get the opportunity, please say hi to Dr. Carr. Dr. Carr is an extraordinary person. I'm also blessed to have Imam Malik Mubashir. Malik Mubashir was once the Imam of Philadelphia Masjid in Philadelphia. He is currently imam for the community. And so he understands on a very deep level that religion is each culture's expression of the Most High. Religion is each culture's expression of the divine. And so all religions are relevant. There is a universal law and a universal language that is expressed through culture. And so we call that religion. And so I love to hear Imam Mubashir pray because each time he prays, you hear that he understands the universal language of love, the universal language of God, the universal language of spirit. And so I thank him. Thank you, Imam Mubashir, for being here with us this afternoon. Thank you. Thank you, our president, our interim president, Helen Drynan. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming here today to speak with us, to evoke the spirit of Mother Cabrini, and I'm sure that she is here. The drum beat is the heartbeat of our culture. We know that our enslaved ancestors used the drum to communicate with each other. And so as the Tiemba Drum Ensemble plays the drums, and as Dr. Carr speaks the names of the ancestors, we know that their spirit is here. And so we also know that the spirit of Mother Cabrini is here. And so we are very grateful that President Drynan evoked her name and spoke to us about her legacy. So thank you. Thank you very much for being here with us today. So with that said, I am not going to say much more. I want to thank our vendors. Yes, I want to thank our vendors and our sponsors. I want to thank Ms. Ernestine for showing up today, as well as Paragon Jewelry. I want to thank Mr. Litt, EDU LLC, and also Anderson Windows for coming out today. So thank you all. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. This is going to be an amazing day. And I'm so glad that you're here. And I just want you to lay back and relax and take it all in. But at the same time, I want you to be able to enjoy the good food that is here, to be able to experience the vendors that have come out to sell their beautiful wares. I want you to take your children over to the moon bounce and have a conversation with a few people, get to know people, because Cabrini University, this is the first time that we've done something like this. And so there are people here who we want to bring back. There are people here who we want to experience and get to know. So have a conversation with your neighbor. Thank you. Thank you so much.